Hey friends, hello. I was thinking that I haven't done like a formal introduction post in a very long time. I meet people out in the world and then I tell them about my job and how I started becoming a photographer, but I haven't like put it down in a video and kind of been able to share it with the internet in a long time. And so I thought I need to do that. I am Kayla Rochelle. Photography is my business. That's actually my first and middle name, Kayla Rochelle. I started my business 13 years ago, and that was before I was engaged. Um, but I was dating my now husband, and I couldn't very well take his last name because we weren't even engaged, and I didn't want to use my maiden name because I knew we were going to be getting engaged. So I thought my first and middle name was kind of interesting. I have seen two other Kayla Rochelle photographies like out about in the world on Facebook once or twice, but I think I'm the only one you need to worry about. So that's how I got my name, Kayla Rochelle Photography. I've been in business for 13 years now, which is like insanity to me, especially because this kind of just happened. It wasn't a conscious decision to sit down and be like, I'm going to be a photographer. It kind of just, it all happened. Outside of photography, I'm a wife, I'm a mom, I've got two girls, and I'm just having the most fun raising girls and having these little best friends. We have a lot of hobbies and things we like doing together, which is like such a fun thing to share. And all of us are just like big personalities. We all love a good time. I don't know if that's like the environment we've created for our kids or if that's a little bit of genetics. It's probably both. My husband and I think we can both say that we have never once in our whole lives been called wild or wallflowers. Neither of us are shy in any capacity. I myself have no introvertedness at all. I'm an extroverted extrovert. I am first to raise my hand and agree to do something. I'm a yes gal. I'm like always laughing, down for a good time. Karaoke, I'm in. I'm not even worried about making a fool of myself. I will happily do it if it's going to be a good time for no reason other than I just like having fun, frankly. I'll talk to anybody about anything because I happen to love conversating with people. So that's kind of like one of those things that I think as a kid, I was talkative. I would, you know, I was too kind to strangers, in like a stranger danger kind of way. I was told that I was too much. I'm still told I'm too much every so often. But for me, it feels like a superpower. And it's okay if my personality is too much for somebody because, I'm not for everybody, but I'm certainly the right person for the right sorts of people. And in photography, actually, it's been really helpful. Even though I'm behind the camera, I find that, being able to just talk to anybody about anything and having such a good time whenever I'm with people of all walks of life makes it really easy to build relationships and connections. And so that tends to make people feel more comfortable. And it's just like, it's so fun for me. I love it. I'm so lucky this is my job. Let me tell you about how I became a photographer. I met my husband a lifetime ago, before Facebook was a thing. We met, and yeah, I changed my MySpace song at the night of our first date to like send him a message, and he got that message. Anyways, way back when we met, we both were working at Best Buy in the mall, and I was selling cameras just because they had an opening in the camera department, and I got hired as a Christmas employee during the holiday season to sell cameras. And so then our Best Buy started doing like camera classes. I was constantly just telling people how to use their camera, selling the different features of the different cameras. And so for Christmas, I think a year or so after we started dating, my boyfriend at the time bought me an open box camera from Best Buy because he had an employee discount. We were like 20 at the time. And he said, you spend all day long talking about cameras, you might as well have one of your own. At that time, I had a pink Sony Cybershot point and shoot I loved. I took that everywhere with us. Everywhere. We would go to a friend's house for a party, and I was posting 200 photos the next day, an album of 200 pictures. I was just taking pictures of everything and anything. I loved it. So he bought me my first DSLR. It was a Nikon D5000, and I actually used that for my business. Wow, for like 6 or 7 years. I only shot on my crop sensor and I loved it. I didn't start taking pictures of people. I started by taking pictures of myself. At the time, back in 2007, like the rest of the world, I had a fashion blog because I thought I had something to say about dressing for my 9 to 5. I don't know. I don't know. I loved thrifting. I still love thrifting. I would go to the Goodwill, find clothes, and I would take pictures of myself in our living room and then post them on my blog. I've always liked writing. I've always liked words. It was like a very fun hobby I had back then. So he'd gotten me the DSLR so that I could like up my photo game for my blog. And since I had the nice camera, I started, saying to my sister, look, I take pictures of you in the field, and hey, let me take pictures of these people. I was just taking pictures kind of like for family and friends, but like not in any photo shoot capacity, just like here and there. And I was really enjoying it. I was having a good time. Then I started doing some photo projects, some little personal things. And then one day my husband, my mother, and my father sat me down in their kitchen. I'm never going to forget it. And they said, hey, Kayla, why are you not making this a business? And I was like, I am not good enough. And they were like, says who? If you're going to be taking pictures for these people, you should be charging money and making this a business. And I said, you think? Well, I don't think I can call it, like, what am I going to call it? I guess Kayla Rochelle, right? Because it's my first and middle name. And they were like, yeah. Because I said, I can't take your name until you propose to me. And they agreed. And so I went home and I figured out how to have a website. I was in New York at the time. I filed for my DBA, paid my $25 fee, and got my card in the mail that said I was officially Kayla Rochelle Photography. And wow, how far I've come. I think about that often. I was not setting out to be a full-time photographer. At the time, I think I just was like, this is a fun side thing I can do. I'm going to figure it out. I learned everything that I know through trial and error. A lot of YouTube classes, a lot of workshops I've taken online, a couple I've taken in person. But everything for me has been about learning as I go. And so 13 years later, I can say now that I've reached peak, probably not peak because I'm going to keep going, but at this point, this has been the peak of confidence in my own abilities as an artist. And I know that that's 13 years of experience behind me. I don't know what all that is, but I think the internet is also very proud of me. I'm so proud of myself that I've come this far. And now I know I can walk into any situation for any client, any family, any small business, any wedding, any bar mitzvah, and I can walk in and I'm going to give them great photos. Now it's about honing the art that I'm creating and making sure I'm delivering the art that you want. And that's a whole other level of my business. That's just fun. But anyways, 13 years in, I cannot believe how far I've come. I cannot believe how far I'm going to go. And I cannot believe how that one little Christmas gift, my D5000 crop sensor, changed everything for me. And to me, it's one of the reasons I'm not a gearhead when it comes to my cameras, because for a really long time I didn't have money. And so I just shot with what I had. I just made it work. And I, had clients back then, and I was giving them photos that they love. And sometimes I still see them hanging on people's walls. And it's crazy to me because I look at them now and I'm like, oh, I really needed a flash. My camera wasn't full frame. What was I doing? What kind of lens was that? It's been a wonderful experience. Anyways, it's so nice to meet you if I have not met you in person. I cannot wait to meet you in person. And I can't wait to see what the next 13 years are going to bring.